It's Packers week for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, you've got the history of the rivalry, but on top of that, a lot is at stake here for both teams. For the Vikings, probably not going to happen, but it ain't over till it's over. Still in the hunt for the 1 seed as long as Philly doesn't win another game. Worst case, you're trying to hold on to the 2 seed, preventing San Francisco from jumping you. If San Francisco wins out and Minnesota loses one of their last 2 games, the Niners, they then get the 2 seed. As for Green Bay, after starting the year off 4-8, if you win out with 1 more Commanders loss or 2 Giants losses, then you're in. But before you start looking around the league for help, the number 1 priority as a team is you got to take care of business. So if they lose to the Vikings, Green Bay, their playoff hopes are essentially dead, which brings us to now, Vikings versus Packers. I'll do the official preview vid tomorrow, but let me tell you something right now. Nothing would make me happier than for your season to end at the hands of Minnesota in your own building. But if you win out, you get the 7 seed, chances are we're looking at Vikings-Packers trilogy, part 3 at US Bank Stadium in the wildcard round. It's going to be a party, but not to get lost here is the Za'Darius Smith / Chandon Sullivan revenge game, both on Green Bay's roster last year. Chandon Sullivan, they allowed him to walk in free agency, never really stood out, so not a difficult decision there. Z, however, was on his way to close to a $28 million cap hit after playing in just 1 game last year after dealing with a back injury. Plus, they felt good about Rashawn Gary, rightfully so. 9.5 sacks last year in 16 games and on a rookie contract. Makes sense. For Z, he felt like the Packers treated him badly and that revenge was a driving force for him to sign with Minnesota to play his former team twice a year. He'll get another chance to leave his mark, this time on New Year's Day. And sidebar, I just want to say I'm thankful for Kevin O'Connell, Nathaniel Hackett's firing, and the current mess in Denver. I don't think it was all on Hackett. In my opinion, George Payton, the GM, should also be fired, but what's going on in Denver could easily be Minnesota's problem right now. After all, the Vikings, they did interview Nathaniel Hackett for the head coaching job. Broncos in shambles, Vikings in good hands heading to the postseason. And a big part of O'Connell's success is the camaraderie that he's built. Life is a lot easier when your players want to play for you and not let you down. How do you do that? Sounds cliche, but culture. A positive working environment is everything. It's the difference between going to work and dealing with the BS, coworkers who thrive in drama, outdated processes, a blowhard manager. It's the difference between that and going to work to where everyone in the organization, they understand and are focused on the ultimate goal, working together to accomplish it, with a boss who listens and provides constructive feedback, but in a way to where you can use that information to be at your best. Just going around yelling, putting fists to table, trying to make an example out of players, do as I say, that's played out. Besides that, if a player's going through a slump, getting all rah-rah, you're going to further bum out the player and make it harder for him to get back to being productive. Greg Joseph was struggling. 50 yards out, extra point attempts, facing heat from the outside from individuals like myself, but inside the locker room where it really matters, the KOC culture. Greg Joseph, he was able to put all his energy into improving his game without the added stress of, man, my boss, I bet you he hates me. What if I get cut tomorrow? In fact, he said on the Pat McAfee show, Greg Joseph, he said, quote, "The atmosphere that KOC has created here is unbelievable, and it just makes us work harder for each other. Happy employees that want to come to work typically yields quality max production, which in turn yields max results. And KOC recognizes this isn't about, hey, let's be nice to each other, yay, for the sake of doing it. Kevin O'Connell recognizes that you can put an emphasis on workplace culture while still supporting the bottom line, winning football games. And it doesn't have to be one size fits all. Kevin O'Connell, he has the nice guy approach. Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia, he's got the frat boy approach. 2 very different styles in getting through to their players, but they're both getting through to their players and they're both winning. As for O'Connell, the Giants game, 4th and short, being aggressive. I like going for it, but the play call, a deep shot to Justin Jefferson, that was annoying. Those are things that Kevin O'Connell needs to work on, but this team, their ability to stay in it until the clock hits 0, despite all the moments where, as before, these close wins are actually close losses, that's on coaching. That's a testament to KOC's style on the impact he's having on the 12-3 record right now. So for Greg Joseph, back-to-back weeks of walk-off field goal wins, last week being a 61-yarder, very impressive, nice turnaround. But let me tell you something right now. You better keep it up in the playoffs. Now is not the time to get comfortable. Stay locked in, whatever you're doing. doing, keep doing it, because I cannot handle a meltdown kick in the postseason where every point counts. Vikings versus Packers preview tomorrow. We'll see you then.